Hi, welcome back to another Precision Baseball video. My name is Brian Hafferkamp. I'm the designer and creator of Precision Baseball. And in this video, I am happy to announce that I'm introducing something I'm calling ballpark pages, I guess, or ballpark. They're not cards, but they're really big. So it's a full-size page. And you can see here that we have our stadium. This is going to be Busch Stadium, so the new Busch Stadium. And there's several different things on here. You can see that it's got the wall height. So this all has to do with the stadium itself. So the wall height is here. You have left field, right field, and then left center, center, and right center field. So that was kind of how I did that. Hopefully that makes some sense to you. We have the foul territory behind home plate, and then foul territory down the lines. And then we have our distances, so left, left center, center, etc. That's the distance from home plate to the wall. And then our bottom section down here, you can see this is a D20 roll, and now we have all of our hits. As before, I was using a single sheet. So before, I was using this single sheet to determine hit direction and runner advancement. You can see there's all the different hits, but there are only 10 for each one. It's kind of generic in the way that it goes. So what I did is I went back through and I thought each ballpark should have some sort of effect on the game, right? I think that most people want some sort of ballpark effects. So this is going to be a place where there are some effects on the game. So for foul balls, there will be a check for these things. The outfield wall is definitely going to have some bearing on the game, because that's how you're going to determine, can you rob home runs in this part of the park or in this park at all. And then I think here there could be something like where you figure out distances for home runs and things like that, if you wanted kind of a little optional type of deal. So we have our singles, doubles, triples, and home runs, and each ballpark has some its own specific kind of ground rules for different things. Some ballparks have more than others, like really quirky parks like Fenway Park or Wrigley Field. They have like really quirky, weird kind of things, because the ball can get stuck in the ivy in Chicago, and that means that's a ground rule double if it gets stuck in the ivy. So if it goes into the ivy but comes out, then the ball's in play. There's just some kind of weird things. It can go into a basket as opposed to hitting a wall or going just over the wall. It can, like, there's a little basket that goes all around the outfield. So there's some different things that are there. This one has an odd one where if you hit it off the safety railings down the left field or right field line, and it hits the safety railing in the air and then goes back fair onto the field of play, it's an in-play ball. So, you can get a double like that. I don't know that there's any other strange ones here. Oh, so off the top of the concrete wall in right center field. So out here, if it hits the top of the concrete, that's out, like a home run. And if it bounces off the top padding and then goes out, it's a home run. So there's a few different other ones as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and then the last part down here is, this is the manager tendencies. So if you're playing solo especially, and you want to know, I know how often I would sacrifice or try to steal or whatever, but if I wanted to try to play this team in the way the manager played it, how can I do that? So we actually have statistics for the managers, and I've done it on an above average, below average basis. So the minus means below average. A double minus means very below average, like way below average. A double plus means way above average, and a plus means above average. And then the little circle is average. So, if it feels like you're doing it about as much as you see it on TV. It's probably average. So, and then the other part is to taking extra bases. Is this team cautious, or is this team normal, or is this team aggressive? So those are sort of your three options. And what I'm going to do with that is, let's see. Oh, it's here. That's why I can't find it. So on the runner advancement on singles to the outfield, we have a first to third and second to home. I'm going to take this space here now, and I'm going to create a first to third for aggressive, cautious, and normal, and then a second to home for aggressive, cautious, and normal. So we'll have those 6 charts here on this page, and we'll take this, and that has been translated to all of the different stadiums. Now I created stadiums for every demo team. So starting at A and then going all the way down through Cleveland. So starting at Arizona and then going in alphabetical order until you get to the Guardians. I've done all of those stadiums. Plus I did Busch Stadium, because this is one I'm going to use probably tomorrow whenever I do a new replay. So the Cubs are going to be at St. Louis. So essentially whenever there's a hit, doesn't matter if it comes off the Cubs or the Cardinals in my series, it's going to happen here because all of the hits are taking place inside of Busch Stadium. So you look at the stadium that you're playing in for the home team, and then you play in that stadium. There's some funky stuff like at Chase Field that's kind of weird, and there's a line out in center field, and if you hit it above the line, it's a home run, but it's a huge wall. So if you hit it below the line, it's a double. So it's kind of some interesting things that are going on, and the ballpark will come into play for some of the things. Just the general everyday happenings of the field. So for this, we're gonna break these down into cautious, normal, and aggressive, and that'll be for first to third, and also for second to home. You won't have to guess on any of those. You'll just match up. Like if you want to go first to third, and this team is cautious. I'll have to put together a list, I guess, of all the teams, so you don't have to print out every ballpark or look through, what are they. Maybe even there'll be a place to maybe write it on the scorecard, the score sheet. So let's say it's this team here. So Marmol and his coaches were very cautious, so they didn't go first to third as much as other teams. So maybe this is a normal one, but there's going to be one that kind of scales back players going automatically. Which players do you get a chance? Based on their running ability, maybe there will be more no's on here for a cautious running team. And so only the fastest players will have the opportunity to some parts of the field. So that's sort of the idea there. And then you would just match up that with whichever of those 3 charts that you're trying to, that's the temperament of the running ability or the running temperament of the team. All right, so let's try to show how this will work in reality. So I've got Xander Bogaerts against Evan Phillips, and we're just going to play them straight up like there's no advantage or disadvantage. So a 17 would go to the pitcher, a 144, that's not a hit. So let's do let's do an 884. Okay, so we'll manipulate that. 884 comes off of his hit range. So then when we roll off of the batter card, we get a 713. 713 off a right-hander for Bogaerts is going to be a single. Okay, so then instead of going to this chart here to find out the hit location, we're instead going to roll off of this chart here. And we don't need our 3D10 dice, we just need the D20. So we've already been using a D20, so we're just going to reuse it. We're looking at the singles, and we roll it, and a number 1 is a blooper down the left field line. And, you can roll it. A 3, that's a ground ball down the left field line. and a 2. Man, we're getting all these in order. A line drive down the left field line. 18 would be a line drive down the right field line. And another grounder down the left field line. That one is a ground ball down the left field line. Again, 6 is a ground ball into left center field, so etc., etc. There's just some fun things that can happen over here off of the, I'm calling it the fair pole. I know a lot of people call it the foul pole, but I call it the fair pole. In Busch Stadium, there's a screen that extends off of the fair pole, and if you hit that screen, then it's a home run. So, just different little things like that. You know, you're hitting a line drive into the bullpen, and Wrigley Field, you're hitting it into the basket. You can hit it off the scoreboard. You can hit it onto Waveland Avenue, which is the it's bordered by 4 streets. Waveland Avenue goes basically parallel to left field. From left field all the way to center field, that's Waveland Avenue. Sheffield is on the right field line. So, and you can't hit it onto Sheffield anymore because there's a huge scoreboard in the way now. But there's still a little sliver that you can hit it out of the actual stadium onto Waveland Avenue. So there's some kind of cool little things like that that are just going to be a part of it. You can hit the light standard in at Fenway Park. So I did Fenway Park as well. So you can hit the light standard. It's a home run. You can, there's a ladder on the wall that if you hit the ladder, the ground rule is that it's a double. And so that's one of the double options, is that you hit the ladder that's on the wall. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before, but it is a possibility. There's some different lines and things like that that are on the walls in the stadiums, and if you hit it left of the line, it's a home run. If you hit it right of the line, it's not a home run. You can hit it into the pool in Chase Field in right center field. So there's lots of like fun little quirky things. So as I wanted to put that you could hit it off the warehouse in Baltimore, but it turns out no one's ever actually hit it that far in an actual game before. King Griffey did it in a home run derby once, but nobody's actually hit it that far in the game. So lots of fun little quirky kind of things, and then lots of just regular old same old type of outs and home runs and stuff like that. Now we have the wall heights here. So anything, I'm going to say anything 10 feet and below, because I think people can climb the wall at 10 feet and reach up and get a home run. So anything 10 feet and below is going to be eligible to be robbed. A home run can be robbed. So in Wrigley Field, everything is 11 feet or more around the outfield. So there's no chance to rob home runs. You can anyway. There's a basket there, so you can't reach up and grab it. The basket gets it. So some places, I did Jacobs Field. It's not Jacobs Field. It's Progressive Field with the Guardians. Left field, you can't rob a home run. It's a huge wall out in left field. And then as it comes around, the wall gets shorter as you go to the right. Same thing in Fenway Park. So the wall is huge in left, but as you work your way around, the fence is only 3 feet tall or something like that and down the right field line. So there are different areas of the ballpark where you're going to be able to rob home runs. And so if you hit, here, it doesn't matter where you hit it. If you hit a just over the left field fence, that's going to be the left fielder. Before, we only had it for left center and right center, but I went ahead and added more opportunities to rob home runs in this. So there's left field, right field, center field, if it's possible. And then left center and right center, and then if it's left or right center, you'll just have to roll to see which player it was. Again, just over the center field fence in a ballpark that has a 18-foot high fence means that it's just a home run, because you can't rob. Nobody's climbing up an 18-foot wall to make a catch, right? So there will be some stipulations to that, and then you'll get a nice view of the ballpark here. And I don't have any historical information or anything like that, but I thought this would be a really nice addition to the game. I wanted I wanted to make things a little bit more ballpark specific, because I know that that is a part of the games that you play. It matters where you play. It matters how far away things are. The foul territory matters for different parts of the game as well. And so I want to just make sure that that is in the game, as well as some other kind of, I guess it's color, just adding a little bit of like extra flavor into the game. And if I can take what already you have to do with the hits and I can add a little flavor into that, then I'm going to do that. So again, you'll use your D20 to roll for the hits instead of a D10. And then, you know, that's a dive with a catch missed in left field. That would be how he got the triple. So a little bit of color to the game, a little bit extra things that are happening. There's more in a game than just line drive to left center field. There's more action and things that could happen. So I just want to try to get all those details in there. And again, we're trying to be precise and trying to get everything into the game. So really trying to do that as much as possible in every single area that we can, including some precision with with the managers and having it's one thing that people have called for a lot is to have, I want to know how to use this team. So maybe it's a team I don't know, maybe I didn't watch them, but I'm looking here and I can see, you know, Marmol didn't pinch run hardly ever. So that's not a strategy that I'm going to necessarily employ, even if I personally would want to pinch run. If I'm trying to play this like he played it, then I won't pinch run as much. There's not as many pinch hitters. He never walked anybody intentionally, so it's just not or it's very rare. So you can kind of get a sense of how you should be doing each of the different strategies in the game as well. And then, you know, how cautious were they? How aggressive were they on the base paths? So generally, I'm noticing American League teams less cautious or more cautious, and National League teams more aggressive, which it's kind of weird in the day of the DH these days because it's not the same as it used to be. But they still kind of have that flavor of American League, National League. Kind of interesting to see. All right, so this is going to be, you can go to the Facebook group, and if you join the Facebook group, you can look in the files section, and you'll find this. So you'll find the file. It has all of the stadiums I've done. It should be 9, I think, total. You won't be able to use St. Louis unless you just want to play an exhibition game in Busch Stadium. But it has the home stadiums for all of the teams in the demo. That was the intention there, so that you can use this now with the demo teams if you've downloaded it. If you haven't yet, you'll find the demo in the file section as well, and you can download that and you can play the game out. I'll be uploading all fresh new files soon, so we'll have I've made a lot of changes to the game just since I released the last test version. No changes to the cards themselves, only to some of the charts and the components and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below. Is this a good idea? Is it a waste of time? Is it flawed in some way? Or is it super helpful to be able to play the game and have these sorts of resources available? I also had thought about doing one with originally they had all this kind of stuff here, plus the defensive setups. So defense for the home team, defense for the away team, but that's really more like a me thing. You could put it onto a score sheet or something like that. It doesn't have to be on a component like this. I like having the specific types of hits though. When I was thinking through it, I thought, well, there might be some specific types of hits. Like there's a single off the wall in Fenway Park. So one of the singles is off the wall in left field, which really does happen. You hit it. It would normally be a home run in another park, but it's a single at Fenway Park. So I wanted to add some different things like that as well into the game, which makes you feel a little bit more like you're in that stadium and that the stadium has some effect over what you're doing. All right. I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.